Hey there, Jewels of Life Challengers! I'm Julie Ford from Jewels of Life, and we are back with our 21 days to more contribution from everyone at home. And this video is going to be a little bit longer than the typical 5-minute video because we're talking about fun, and we have a lot to say about making contribution fun. So first, we're going to start out with, why do we want to make it fun? Goodness, if it is more fun, more memorable, then it's going to be more successful. People are going to want to do what you've got going on, and you have to do it anyway, so you might as well make it fun. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Do you remember when you were little, and maybe this happened in just only my house and not your house, but I remember when brushing teeth and getting on pajamas was a task, my mom would say, all right, whoever brushes her teeth and gets her pajamas on first, they get to pick the book. And that made it this like wild frenzy to run and get your pajamas on, sometimes backwards, whatever, in order to be the one to pick the book, because that was a big deal. So first, you got to kind of figure out what's the big deal in your house for each person. So that'll be up to you to kind of figure out. We're going to have some more videos on that upcoming. So don't fret if you don't all of a sudden know what it is that is going to move everybody into action, but it might not be that they pick the story. It might not be that it's getting your PJs on and brushing your teeth. It might be that it's getting the dishes done or whatever. And then they get to choose the activity that everyone is now afforded a lot more time, you included, to participate in. So, if everybody was helping, you've got some extra time at the end of the day, maybe you can play a game with the whole family. They get to choose the game. Maybe it's that you get to choose watching a movie and all snuggle up on the couch, and they get to choose the movie if they participate and help in that, or, making that sort of a contest or whatever. If we get this done by X time all together, then we get to do this thing. So these are the types of things I'm talking about. So let's talk about what could make it memorable, what could make it more fun. And I want you to contribute as well. So put it in the comments what works for you, what's worked for you as a kid when you were a kid, and what's worked for you as a parent now. So let's get going. More memorable. And I'm not talking about just more memorable like, boy, that was fun when we did that. I'm also talking about, hey, I remembered to do the tasks at hand. So we'll talk about that in both senses of the word memorable. So lists left in a place that is fixed, like I leave lists for my family on the island in the kitchen. They know that that's where they should look for it, and they leave it there and check it off there. They don't wander around with it. Other people like a list that they can wander around with. That's fine if that works for you. Pinterest is a wealth of information on how to, track things and make the lists and things like that. So find what works for you and go there. We'll be talking a little bit more about that this week. Songs is another way to make it memorable, the steps in what has to be done. So, you can have a lot of fun with this one. When the kids are little, they've got the clean up song, clean up, clean up. There are lots of them. Barney, you don't have to deal with Barney, but there are a lot of other ones that keep people motivated while the task is going on. The other day in the car, I made one up to Pink's song, and, instead of money, it was my nose is running. Run. Anyway, it added an element of fun to me handing a Kleenex to my daughter because that was going on for her. So, it made her think about that, and then she smiles instead of thinking about her raw nose. You can do that with tasks. So grab whatever the popular song or thing is and add some fun lyrics to that. Setting phone alarms and timers, like, hey, this task should take this long, so let's set that phone alarm and timer and make that happen. And then when it goes off, you have this, wild party. Some of my alarms are really fun and danceable. They've got some salsa going on, and, so we're done with that task. Woohoo! And the little ones like those timers that surprise you with a big, large ding or some sort of obnoxious. A lot of games come with those, so you could borrow them if it's a 2-minute task or whatever. And when that goes off, it's kind of like that, and it's coming, but still it scares you nonetheless, and it's fun, and we giggle. So back to how to make it more fun. Those are some things to make it more memorable, but how do we make it more fun? And that's not just afterwards, but it's during the tasks too. So we play music during cleanup times, and we do 5-minute rescues. So 5-minute room rescues. We stole that from the Fly Lady. Love it. So if somebody's coming over, we do 5 minutes of, just clearing stuff up, folding up the cozy blankets from the movie we watched the night before, the extra popcorn and the couch cushions and things like that. 5 minutes and that room looks ready to receive some guests and still looks lived in, and that's okay. But the music helps. And when I was a kid, I would dust to Tina Turner, so that was fabulous. And, what's dust got to do? Again, bad songs, but it adds a big element of fun. The other is to add a buddy. It is fun to do a task when someone else is there with you, and sometimes it's more productive. So, like if the task is sweeping the kitchen, you gotta move all the chairs out, then you gotta do this, that, and the other thing. If someone was following you around, moving the chairs out, then you followed them with a broom, and then they're still standing there so that you can sweep the stuff in the dustpan, it goes much faster. So if that's what their task is, and yours was to rake the leaves, maybe they'd help you out with your task. So you see where this is going here, a little bit of collaboration and, helping each other out. Competitions is a big one. I know a lot of my clients and their families are competitive, very competitive. So if you make it into a game where people can race during things, or it's not necessarily the fastest, sometimes it's the most accurate, or with the most flair, or the most thorough. One of the ones that I came up with was the tidiest kitchen cleanup, and the most thorough and creative. And how can kitchen cleanup be creative? Well, if you've gotten down to the nth degree of the detail because you're giving this presentation, somewhat like someone giving a house tour on one of those fancy shows for the lifestyles of the rich and famous. You're like, and you see that this microwave has no schmutz on the inside. And look over here in this countertop, you could lick right off of it. And I wouldn't recommend that. But then, and the sink is just so shiny that it's coming up at your face. So it reminds even the little ones, oh, maybe drying out the sink next time is something I should do, or wiping that out so it doesn't have gook in it, or the microwave. Oh yeah, I forgot about it, that it has an inside and we explode things in there, so maybe we should clean that. Or to wipe down the countertops, even underneath the flour container and things like that. So it adds another layer of learning, which is kind of cool. Sock matching contests, great. Put the little ones on that task, just dump them all on the couch or on a bed and say, on your mark, get set, go, and they have to match all the socks, or put everybody's laundry in their own basket, one for brother, one for sister, one for mom, one for dad, one for grandma, whatever. At camp, they always have the tidiest cabin award. Well, why not have the tidiest room award? And you're like, got half an hour before dinner, tidiest room, by dinner time gets blah, blah, blah. It might be, some choice in dessert, or, choice in what you do for that night. So these are some of the great things that you could try at your house to make your contributions a little bit more fun. I hope you've gotten some ideas, and I want you to post your ideas in the comments. Keep those coming, and until tomorrow, Namaste. The mom in me sees and honors the mom or dad in you.